Hi, it's me, Xena here, and today I'm going to talk about this one thing that I think we should talk about here. I haven't done a YouTube live stream in some time. Haven't been in the mood. And why I haven't been in the mood of doing YouTube live streams is that one, unless you're name known, or at least a big name known, you getting a big shift out for your films doesn't always work. Now, everybody's got their beliefs over why this is. And first, you have these folks that they think they know what ails someone's YouTube fairway. Of course, you're going to talk to some of these folks out there, they'll say, wow, you need to fill up all your tags. Sure, and the fucking tags don't bloody do nothing. Oh, you got to make a real long telling of what your film is. Sure. But it's so funny about all that. So right now I had 3, now I got 2. Maybe I should just shut up about saying how many folks I get on my YouTube live streams. Yes, there are some folks on YouTube who, hi. There are, by the way, hi. There are some folks on YouTube who they will come on YouTube, they'll see someone's getting a lot of watch time for their live streams or even their non-live streams, and they'll think that should be their watch time. And if it doesn't work out, they got all their beliefs. Oh, YouTube's handicapping them somehow. Oh, well, the YouTube upmake layout or setup is fucked. Whatever. YouTube's a big webstead, so yeah, it was hard to get watch time. So I'm happy for what watch time I do get. I've been doing good. Yeah, you get some more watch time. Yeah. But of course, I guess it has to do with what's big. You see, the thing is, I don't come on doing shit that's in the now. Of course, if I came on talking about anything that was going on in the now, maybe I would get some watch time for it, maybe not. See, I sometimes don't know where we're going with this YouTube fairway. Sometimes we don't know if it's Angry Grandpa or Psycho Dad or Lunatic Dad or Psycho Mom or Angry Grandma. We don't know. So I guess it's almost like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, well, I guess you're right. The Buddy Wood? Yeah. Xena, you last, your Buddy Wood. Me and Xena beat Dub's Paul. Paul, I guess. I don't know whoever he is. But why we would be beating him, I don't know. That was getting to the grounds to why I don't do YouTube live streams as much as I used to. Not that I'm busy and effing. Oh, I'm busy and effing a lot. It's just is that you make one, you don't get a turn, you get a shift out for maybe one, and then you make a lot of them, and then I think some of your followers go, oh, well, you play this up. Yeah. So, yeah. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I like YouTube live streams. Okay? They're more smoother ones to work with than Google Hangout. And of course, Google Hangout, they have to make it where first you got to go into it, and then you got to tag it and tell a long telling what the film is, put a name to it, this and that. And it's like, and you can't maximize, which is something with Google Hangout, with YouTube live stream you can. And then some folks are like, oh, well, you can't shift back and forth between that. Yeah, well, I think that a Google Hangout is more like a podcast. I think that's what Google Hangouts really is for, is podcasting. Yeah, I did. I liked them. Thank you for them. Thank you for Acom and Razor. I like them. Thank you for getting them. That was kind of you. We did leave word on your YouTube fairway. I don't know if you got by to read it. It said, yeah. So, but yeah, they're really good. I don't know. Primarily, I tend to stick to a lot of, I don't know. I'm just saying that I think that's what, I think anyone can do that. I think that, yeah, most likely, I believe anyone can do it. I don't really have a beloved live streamer or anything like that. But I'm just saying that's probably what a lot of folks work Google Hangout for, you know. And of course, I always like YouTube live stream, you know. Yeah, well, thank you for all that. Yes, he is, even though I don't know how to say the name right. I think it's Tsunami 2, but I could be really wrong with the way that name goes. So, yeah, the last YouTube live stream was done maybe a week ago or a week before that by my goddaughter Jordan. She made one. It was mostly just her talking about stuff. Then at the end, Dyllon came in. And some folks would say, well, I know some folks are like, oh, well, so there are two things that are going on. Somewhere in March, when we get the income toll back, we're going to get a new Google Chromebook. Because Google is pulling out on the software backing the updates of our LG Google Chrome base come June. Now, a lot of folks might say, oh, what's the big deal? Well, you see, updates keep everything running right. Keep the upmake or the layout or, running right. Fix hang-ups when they happen. Keeps your sandbox or firewall so it can contain or it can lock anything from getting in. You lose a software backing and the updates, tools that first started working right stop working right or don't work good anymore. Then you start getting more lockup and freezes, and then every malware and other shit that your sandbox or firewall would have been updated to keep from coming in anyway, get in. Now, I know there's some folks out there going to say, well, you should get first off, if you're going to say Microsoft Windows 10, that's still shit. I don't care what Microsoft says. They haven't really gotten the whole stable, the whole, it doesn't fuck, they don't got the whole thing. Their firewall and sandbox still is shit. It's still hackable, sadly. The whole is that, we can't keep it where it doesn't fuck up. Well, you don't want that sad. So I think I'd go with a Google Chrome base because that Google Chromebook, at least it doesn't take a whole hour to set up. So, yeah. Yes. No, this is mostly has nothing to do with the man behind me or his brother Scott. There are some folks in it. There would be haters, of course. Not any of you folks, but there would be haters that would always, they'd say, oh, well, we don't think you should do this. Well, haters used to always say, oh, well, maybe you should. Yeah, well, why am I talking about the haters? But they used to be like that all the time. They'd say, oh, well, maybe you want to be taken earnest. No, I didn't want to be taken earnest, truthful, or frank. I think they're the ones who want to be taken earnest. So, and then after December of this year, Dolby Flash will be ended. And I'm guessing a new player, whatever, a new player will be taking its stead. Either one day in December, you'll just go on and see there's a new player that every webstead is working with. You know, I don't think you have to download this new player, but I think the new player is going to come along. I think Dolby's going to bring in a new player, or someone new's going to do the new player. So I think one day in December, you'll just be on whatever website you're on, and you'll upload a film to YouTube, and you'll see there's this new player here, or you're on W's website watching something, or you're on W's network or something, and you'll see a new player instead of Dolby Flash. Well, most likely it's probably that most likely is going to happen too. But as far as other things go, most likely that shit is what it is. So yeah, and I know there's going to be some folks thinking, oh, does that mean you got to go around and put a new player in? No, I think this new player is just going to be there by default. It's just going to shift over by default. Either you might have to go on you might have to shift it on maybe for other websites that aren't working with this player. But I think as far as YouTube goes, I think the new player is already going to be there. You'll just see that a new player is taken instead, and it'll say learn more, and it'll say click here to shift this new player on, and then a new player just shows up, I guess. But anyway, that doesn't happen until December. So yeah, hopefully I get a new Google Chromebook, and at least I'll get 4 or 5 years of work out of it. Now, a lot of folks might say, why do they pull out on updates and backware forwarding of software? Well, it's actually 6 years after it was introduced. So the Google Chrome bases came out about 2012? That'd make about 2012. Well, that makes about 6 years. So it was 6 years since they were introduced. So anyone who has a Google Chromebook or a Chrome base right now would have to get a new one. Hey, and that also goes for anyone who's working with Microsoft Windows 7. Microsoft Windows 7 is ending its time of software backing and updating too. The only unlike is you don't have to get a whole new reckoner. You just go and get the running upmake or the running layout. See, you wish it'd be like that with Google, where you just want it isn't that simple, because you wish it'd be that smooth with them. You just go this, but no, it's actually the whole thing. So actually, folks who are using Microsoft Windows 7 are going to have to buy new reckoners with Microsoft Windows 10, because these are Microsoft pulling out on 7. Hell, and 8 and 8.1 are probably on the deathbed too. Yeah. So most likely, but at least but what I'm going to say is that, yeah, Google Chromebooks are worth a lot. Maybe not as much as a Microsoft or Apple one, but they're still up there though, but less than that, So of course, anyone who's got 7 has to sometime jump to 10. And here's always the hang up with that. I'm going to get a new Google Chromebook probably in March, and at least I'll have 4 or 5 years of software backing and updates. With Microsoft Windows, it's always fucked even when you got your backward softening and updates. See, all the hang-ups I ever had with any reckoner was always Microsoft Windows ones. Let's go back to the first one I ever had, E-Machines, the Compass Basario, two Dell desktops, a Dell laptop, an Acer, a Gateway before I got the LG, and all of them were Microsoft ones. Those are the ones I had a lot of hang up with. And folks are going to be like, well, So if there are folks out there that are getting new Google Chromebooks, then there are probably going to be folks out there seeking to get new reckoners with Microsoft Windows 10, knowing that these are worth more than any Google one or any Apple one. Apple and Microsoft are really expensive anyway, worth a lot. So there are going to be a lot of folks out there that are thinking, how do you jump to 7 if you have 7? It can't just be, oh, you got to jump to the new OS there. Sure, wouldn't have been that simple. Wouldn't have been that smooth, or that one's forward. So, yeah, at the end of the day, somewhere in March, I'll get a new Google Chromebook. At least I'll get 4 or 5 years of software backing and updates. Now, with Microsoft Windows, yeah, you might get 10 years of software backing and updates from Microsoft, but you're always opened up for stuff. Always got to have your Norton or whatever McAfee constantly updating going. Always got to have all the updates from Microsoft going for Windows. And even then, you always run into some hang up of this locked up, this freezed, this crashed it. What ends up taking an hour just, to set up. Well, I'm sad to hear that. So that day comes, most likely. We'll probably have to buy one online. Mostly from Walmart, I imagine, online, because at least you can see all of them. If you go to some, shop, like Target or Walmart or something, you might come across some of them. Like, the Samsoft or whatever. But even though Gateway, Acer, Dell, Samsoft, HP, LG, Totasha, Jesus, Voodoo, I guess that's none of them, LG, and all have deals with Google to make Google Chromebooks, or at least make them in. So yeah, as far as it goes for the Microsoft ones, yeah, 10 is all over the bloody stead. But the hang up is every time. See, here's one of my hang ups with the Microsoft ones, is that by the time I would jump to a new one back in the day, it was always towards the end of its lifespan. Let's be earnest with that. I had E-Machines, and then I had a Comcast Presario, and those are all Microsoft HPs. And then by the time I got to my first Dell, that was HP again. And by the time I got to Vesta's lifespan was about dead. And then when I finally jumped to 7 was still going on strong. But then 8 and 8.1 came around. By the time I got to 8.1, they were already throwing out 10 on everyone. So that was always the hang up. It always led me into it either crashing, freezing, locking up, and a bunch of other fun shit that even when you had a software backing and updates always seemed to happen. So, yeah, that was always the hang up. And I know there's going to be some folks saying, oh, well, here's one thing that Google got right that Microsoft and Apple may never, ever get right. Having it where you get no malware or any type of evil shit out there. That's one thing that Microsoft and Apple can never get right. Having fast startups and fast shutdowns, where updates isn't a long thing to go through, and setting up doesn't take a whole hour or more. Well, I started out with at least 4 or 5 followers. I'm down to at least 2 and 1 thumbs up. So I can assume that all the 4 ones left, but the 2 ones are still here. Or maybe it's a YouTube hang up that makes you think that everyone left when they truly didn't. Well, they can last for a long time, but the software backing and updating for a Google Chromebook, it's about 4 or 5 years. So the software backing and updating for it is about 4 or 5 years. Where Microsoft will give you about maybe 10 years of software backing and updates. I don't know about Apple, but I'm going to give you a guess and say maybe Apple gives you 10 or 11 years. I don't know. And a lot of folks, yeah, and a lot of folks think what they want to think. A lot of folks seem to think that, oh, well, yeah. So I don't know. But about 4 or 5 years. At least that's how long the updating and the software backing of the hardware goes. But, someone's going to say, oh, well, why is it up to June? Because I guess it was June, because that's when LG introduced it about 6 years ago. So LG introduced theirs before Acer. So about 6 years after that, so that's probably why it's June. The Acer one comes up in August, and depending to who you got it from, and yeah. The only downside is that we don't know. See, I know it's going to be a Google Chromebook, but I can't tell you what the maker is going to be. I would wish I could go on with LG, but whatever Chromebook I get, it's either going to be LG, HP, Dell, Acer, Gateway, Toshiba, Samsoft, Jesus, Buko, or those other ones out there. So it will be a Google Chromebook, but the maker might be another maker though. And I always hear about Apple folks bitching. I mean, not Apple themselves, but Apple followers bitching about how Google took Apple's thunder and how Google's just an Apple knockoff. Yeah, there was a time where Apple was going around claiming, hey, we're so good. We make our own reckoners with our own running upmake layout. We make our own far speakers too. Hey, we just shit. And they used to sit there and make fun of Microsoft. And when it came to their reckoners, they only unlike between Microsoft Windows and Apple Macintosh OSs. One starts up with either saying Microsoft or whatever, or Windows or whatever it says. It shifts depending on what one you got, or just, and it's a bloody Apple thing showing up. And maybe the one's got their attachments at the bottom, one's got their attachments on the top. But on the end of the day, they're both hackable. They both lock up and freeze a lot. And hackers know how to fuck both their shit up. So at the end of the day, and they both are worth about the same. Then Google came along, started doing a Google Chromebooks. Their Google Packs far speakers blew Apple out of the water, and Apple doesn't like that. So it is what it is. Remember those old business wises where they would have a Microsoft Windows reckoner, some reckoner running Microsoft Windows. Pick whatever your beloved one is. And some reckoner running Apple Macintosh OS. And they're just going back and forth, putting the upsides and the downsides to their cells. And it's about the same. The only thing is, see, the one thing that Google can say, ours doesn't get malware. Ours is unhackable. Yours, Microsoft and Apple, you can't say that about your two. Yeah. And yours both basically are worth the same amount. Even though Apple and Microsoft can say, oh, our reckoners get on films and farcier shows and plays. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I just think that they're never going to get it right. You know, you keep hearing about Microsoft still seeking to learn how everything works. The only way you're going to make Microsoft Windows secure, whatever you want to call it, is you got to completely make it new. And now you know Microsoft, they just make their shit the same way they've been making it for years. They might name and they might give a tool a new name, shift the way something looks, but it's going to run the same way. And same thing with Apple too. You know. Now, if you like Microsoft Windows or you like Apple Macintosh OS, then all good for you. I'm not going to knock you liking that. You know. But I like Google Chrome OS of the way it runs. And a lot of folks get that misled and misbelief with the web browser of the same name. You know? Well, yeah, it has half a dozen and doesn't really suffer from the same hangups. Very rarely, doesn't really have any lockup or freezes. It starts up fast, shuts down fast. Updates are pretty much a fast thing. You're getting all your updates from one stead. No malware, any kind of shit can get through the sandbox. You hear Microsoft and Apple saying, "Oh, our sandboxes are like that." Oops, something got through. You know, and instead of it's starting up and showing you some Apple thing or starting up and saying Microsoft Corporation or Microsoft Windows or whatever it says Chrome and that's it. And setting it up doesn't take a whole hour. You know. Now I know when I keep talking about this whole it don't get malware shit, everybody's like, "Oh, well, it's based off Linux." Yeah, it may have fostered some things off of Linux, but it's not Linux. You know. Well, the only things that will run on Google Chrome OS are anything that came from the Google Web Shop. So if it didn't come from the Google Web Shop, it's not going to run on Google Chrome OS. It's not like Microsoft Windows or Apple Macintosh OS or Linux or Google Android or Moldy Pie, where it's down, it'll eat anything. It'll let anything in, and that's where bad shit gets piggy banked in. So unless it comes from the Google Web Shop, it's not going to run on there. So yeah, you can play things on there. You can run tools as long as they came from the Google Web Shop. They'll work. I know some folks don't like being on their own, you know. Some folks like the whole freedom of having all kinds of stuff on their OSs, opening themselves up for all kinds of stuff. It is what it is, though. And if you ever had to power wash or restore or clean, it's a very faster process than it is with Microsoft Windows or Apple Macintosh OS with a long thing with that. So yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, you can play games on it if the games come from the Google Web Shop. If not, it's not going to take it in. That's another thing that a sandbox does, is to make sure that anything ain't bad, it ain't getting in. So that's a thing. And now, unlike Microsoft Windows or Apple Macintosh OS, where you can go in and fuck around with your settings and shift this on and shift that off, you can't do that with Microsoft. You can't do that with Google Chrome OS. Either your shit's on, that's it. So if there's someone out there that thinks, "Oh, well, can you do this and do that?" Well, unless it comes from the Google Web Shop, it ain't going to run on. You know? So yes, hopefully that answered what you were asking. Well, 3 followers, 1 thumbs up, and yeah. Well, I know someone's probably going to ask me something else, or I just bound to ask myself that. Sad for that burp. Had to get up to stretch, I guess. Well, you're welcome. Now, you do believe me when it comes to that. Because there are some folks in this world who they had worked with Microsoft Windows or Apple Macintosh OS their whole lives, and they understand this can get hacked, that can get hacked, this shit can get in. So when you tell them something that cannot be fucked with, at least not in that sense, they don't believe you. Dillon's doing good. Dillon's doing good right now. And I am going to talk about this one other thing. Well, I'm going to get right in this room. I guess not. All right, well, so someone asked me one time, am my films for grown-ups? Yes, my films are for grown-ups. I made my YouTube Fairway 5 years ago, maybe even that, and I made it for grown-ups. Grown-ups is what I made my YouTube Fairway for, and that's pretty much all the ones that watch my stuff. So yes, I'm telling the truth. You know, so I picked the right rating or whatever you want to call it that goes along with who my watchers are and what my films are. So yeah, so it is what it is. So he's about 1, and he's a walker. Yeah. And when I mean a walker, I mean he's gone from baby to walker. But yeah, he's doing well. You know. So another thing a lot of folks might say to themselves, and I always ask this, oh, why don't you go for YouTube mateship? Well, first off, I'm going to tell you why I don't do that. One, who really wants to go through the headache? Let's say you already have a tax reckoning, a toll reckoning. You want another one on top of yourself, okay? Who wants to have a Google AdSense, set it all up, and then always wonder if something goes wrong with it? And always wonder if you're in good standing with business-wise friendly, being on good standing with followership oversight and ownership law and YouTube's oversight of business, and then wonder if your films are going to be seen as good standing once you uploaded them and they look at them. Now, and then the earnings, oh yeah, of course. And then always wondered, oh, did I make enough? Oh, how am I going to go through and how do I go? And then now I'm going to have a toll reckoning. So how do I tell the land leadership and the raid leadership and these engineer leadership? Do I call myself worker or what is it? I don't want to go for all that. So no. YouTube mateship I'll never take them up on that. That was never my goal. It never will be. And no, I'm not going to be making a line of stuff. You know how some folks they make their own dolls or they make wear. Well, that's not going to happen. So it is what it is. Oh, we missed the first step, huh? You missed the first step of what? What was the first step that you missed? What was the first step you missed? Yes, I'm going to probably have some folks come on my YouTube Fairway and be with me. He walks now. Not well, but he is doing very well. He's not really been on my YouTube Fairway that much, or Jordan's one. Except Jordan, you like him, he was. Okay, I'll bring him on, and then someone's going to say, oh, okay, I guess I'll bring Dillon on if you want to see him. Dillon, they want to see you. You want to see Dillon, Cameron says? All right. Okay, Mom. The folks say they want to see me. Yeah, they do. Oh, hi. Hi, I'm Dylan. Yeah. Yeah, he's talking now, and he's 1. I know there's some folks saying, oh, they don't start talking till they're 2. Too bad I can't be lifelike, can I? Hi, I'm Dylan. Hey, Mom, what am I doing here? Dad told Max, Dad, and he said it was good for if I come on here. Yeah, Dylan, they wanted to see you. Yeah. I wonder if Jordan going to do another one. I don't know. What about Xenos and Osmond and Jordan and Jade and Gabrielle? I don't know if they're going to do one or not. Oh, hi. Mom, does this shift your rating? No, it doesn't. It does not. Because we're for everyone. We're for grown-ups. So no, this doesn't shift. I'm not lying to anyone. Because I thought maybe that would say they were lying or something. No. 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 Well, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm big now. I'm big now. Yeah, Dylan is big now. I know how to use the bowl now. I don't have to use waste sheets anymore. Yeah, he knows how to use the bowl now like a big boy. Some folks can say, oh, they don't know how to do that until at least they're 2 or so. Well, let's just say that I don't know. Mom, I want to go back now, Mom. All right. I want to play a Play-Doh. It's Play-Doh, Dylan, and keep in mind, you cannot eat it. I want to eat it. You cannot eat it, Dylan. Yeah. I want to eat Play-Doh. It's not that kind of thing. Dad, can I eat Play-Doh? No, you cannot, Cameron says. And then you know what happens. Okay? Well, we already got, but there's only too many YouTube fairways we got between Sailor Moon, Power Rangers, Jordan, TWF, and myself. Oh, come on. Go up. Stay up. Yeah, this thing just wanted to come. Did I make you come down? You might ask, how did I keep all this shit on me for going on for at least 1, 2, 3 years by sticky paste? That's how I kept it all on. Because if not, all this shit would have ripped off my first one. I wasn't going to let that happen. Probably not. Way too many other YouTube fairways to deal with besides that one. And then someone's going to, and then it is what it is, though. So it is what it is. I don't know if I can't. There are little things that some folks are going to be like, oh, well, or are you well, a lot of folks are going to say things. They're going to like, oh, well, someone's going to say something about something, but yeah, it likes to fall. Yeah, this shit doesn't like it. Yeah, I've had this thing glued back, pasted back on, this pasted back on, that pasted back on. Well, actually, no, this pasted back on. One in the back pasted back on more than once. This thing aside pasted on. So at the end of the day, yeah, I've done a lot to keep this shit, from coming off. And I know what you're laughing at. You're laughing at that thing happening or not. Oh, what's another thing I gotta talk about here? You know, now some folks out there would think that I was bad. Now, the haters have this belief, but who really cares what they believe? But someone would believe all kinds of shit. That's what he does. He wants to eat Play-Doh. Only he can't say dough. He go Play-O instead of dough. And yes, Play-Doh is a kind of dough, but there's like food dye and whatever they put in it. And if you leave it out too long, it dries up. And if you heat it up, then it keeps together where you can't play with it anymore. And the true Play-Doh is actually Hasbro. And everyone else started making their knockoff of Hasbro, but Hasbro makes the true Play-Doh. So you always keep hearing about Play-Doh, the true Play-Doh, that's actually Hasbro. And then every other business comes along and made their little knockoff of Hasbro's Play-Doh. Only when I played with Play-Doh when I was younger, Hasbro was the Play-Doh I played with, and I was a more good kind. Of course, yeah. You win, yeah. And that's what he does. What he does is he'll go make these big beings with big bodies and little heads, and he'll say who they are. And he knows who they are. He'll go, oh, that's Jordan, that Gabrielle, that's Jade, that's Xenos and Osmond, that's you, Mom, that's you, Dad, and that's Philip, who's our housekeeper, who's and stuff. And he likes, it is what it is. And only he knows that all it is. But it is what it is. Now, a lot of folks are going to say, well, what did you, Xena, does this mean that, yeah. Yeah, he does. Or at least he does do it. It is what it is. Sad for that burp. Nothing I can do about it except I'm sad for it. Oh God. Yeah. That's lifelike. That stuff happens every day. No need to go through and shift any of that out. All those shifting tools out there, all those film shifting tools, whatever you want to call them, they never work right. Unless you scale them, then you show off to your friends and say, hey, I know how to use Microsoft Windows Movie Maker. Too many borrowed words, but I know. Oh, I know how to use Apple Macintosh iMovie, or CyberLink Power Director, or Mackie Cam, or Sony Vegas, or Final Cut, or ArcSouth Video Processor, ArcSouth Webcam Companion. Here, Mackie Cam. Hey, I skilled it. So I'll show you how it works. Well, most folks, it either makes things dark, makes things bright, puts words on the screen, but if you want to cut something out, it's like, good, I'll do that for you. But now you fucked your film up because you can't bring those two chunks back together. And they're all the same. They're there to besmirch your film. Haters would always say, oh, well, folks will like your films more if you clean them out. Even if I did all that, you would still bitch at it. It's too bad you can't because I locked you from my channel about 5 or 6 years ago. Yes, we're going to be at the Royal Rumble tomorrow, or the King Link Loudness tomorrow, with my husband Cameron, Dillon, my goddaughter Jordan, and my daughter Gabrielle. My son Xenos and Osmond, and ever goddaughter Jade with Philip are going to be home tomorrow watching that. So yeah, we're going to be watching that though. Well, first off, I'm talking about the freeware ones that come with every OS that are always junk, always fucked up. That's what I'm talking about. Every Microsoft Windows comes with some sad Microsoft Windows movie maker or filmmaker that doesn't really do much shit. Every Apple Macintosh OS comes with some Apple Macintosh iMovie that's shit. And every HP web shooter has to come with some ArcSoft video processor, ArcSoft webcam companion. And even if you would buy MakiCam, or you would buy Sony Vegas, or you would buy Final Cut, they're shitty. And I worked with Microsoft Windows Movie Maker. It was shit. ArcSoft video processor, ArcSoft webcam companion came with my HP web shooter back in the day. All right, but still shit. And I had a broken down CyberLink power director that came with my Acer. All it did was make me film shit. So much for that working out. Yeah, they are. And I know there's a lot of folks out there who skilled all those tools and they know how it all works, and good for them. You know, hey, and I got to make my film look really good and everything. Well, you know what? You don't have to do that. They're like, well, why do film businesses and farcier show businesses and sports businesses do that? Because they want to get their shit sold. So they make their shit look at least close to being flawless. They got more seek of being sold. But you don't have to do it. And haters are going to say whatever they're going to say about your work. No need what you do, what you don't do. And some folks are like, yeah, it is what it is. You know? And hey, the YouTube one is shit too. Yeah, they're all shit. What I used to work them for back in the day was, oh, want to make your film brighter. Can do that. I can do that for you. You want to give it a name? I can do that for you. You want to cut something out? You fucked your film up now. I can't bring those two chunks back together. It's like making a sandwich. You cut it in half. You can't bring it back together. Same. That was Microsoft Movie Maker or Filmmaker. Then ArcSoft Video Processor, ArcSoft Webcam Companion. Too many borrowed words there. Same thing. Can make your stuff brighter, make it darker, put a name on it. Oh, I can't cut your shit out unless you want me to fuck your film up. And then came CyberLink Power Director. Only thing I can do is film. I'm the broken one. So there it goes. Well, thank you for being on my YouTube live stream. And someone out there that gets irked, and someone out there who says, oh, well, that's what you got to do if you don't have to do shit. You know, if it happens, it happens. Oh, they'll make fun of you. Haters are going to make fun of you. No need what you do, what you don't do. So you're never going to cut out. You're never going to make it flawless. There's always going to be, they're going to always seek something they don't like. That's just the way it is with them. You know, oh, well, we didn't like doggy and horse barking, so you had to shift that out. Oh, the far speaker's ringing, you shift that out. Oh, well, you coughed, so I'm going to bitch about that. Well, you know, with them, it never ends. So no need what you do, what you don't do. They're always going to seek something they don't like. Well, it's just their belief with no truth to it. No need what you do, what you don't do. They're always going to seek something they don't like. Well, it's just their belief with no truth to it. Bring someone else on my film before we're all done here. Yeah. I'm not done. I just got to bring someone else on here. I'll be done soon anyway, because I probably got to go. Hold on. I got to go on Twitter. Yeah, maximize or make another tab, something that Google Hangout wouldn't let you do back in the day. Hold on, that's about later anyway. Yeah. Oh. Why did I do this YouTube live stream anyway? Well, I guess Xena said I did it. So I wouldn't have to do a film on Sunday, I guess. Hi, Xena. How's everything? I want to see your flying ring. Well, I'm doing good. And how are you doing, Awaris? I'm doing good too, you know. Well, that's good to know, Awaris, that you're doing good. This isn't going to like fuck up your rating or whatever you want to call it. Oh, look, that French bar word? No. It's not going to do that. So you're going to be done doing this YouTube live stream soon? Well, yeah, I guess I'll be done doing it soon. You know. No, I'm a unicorn. See, I got a horn on my head. Walrus is a unicorn. He's got a horn on his head. Was this bad for me coming on here, Xena? Because now they're going to think you're lying about something. I'm not lying about nothing, Xena says. This YouTube fairway's for grown-ups. I make my film for grown-ups, and grown-ups are the ones that watch my films. So no, I'm not lying about nothing. Oh, that's good to know. That's truly good to know. Yeah. That's one of my old friends, Alaris. He's a unicorn. A flying unicorn, Xena says. He's basically more faster than any other flight craft out there. You know. But okay, I gotta go now. I want to thank everyone for coming on my YouTube live stream. I didn't think I was going to get a lot of folks watching it, but I did what I did. All right. I'll see you all later. Bye.